Hi, it's Capri again. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so I'm sorry if you have to listen to my annoying nasally voice. So we had to talk about how our experience and connection so far is ecological, based on my understanding of the ecological systems theory. What I connected it most to was the Yuri Brenner ecological theory video. I actually really enjoyed that because there's a lot of different explanations of the ecological systems theory, but it's this one really gave me a direct example, and it was really easy for me to understand. So there's this little girl. Her name's Isabel, and she one day I was talking to her, and then I was talking to her about food because she was still hungry because she didn't get to have dinner. And so then I was talking to her, and I was like, "Oh, well, who's gonna come pick you up?" And she said, "My mom." She said, "My dad's evil." And I didn't dive into asking her why or anything like that, but it kind of made me think about the, the ecological systems because, well, first of all, so the microsystem is the system that's closest to the child and the one where they have direct contact. So, like home, school, daycare, work, friends, family, and those are like bi directional relationships. So, what that means is like the reactions that these people have to what you're saying are gonna like affect how they treat you and stuff. So it's like a super influential level because if someone that you're like your mom is treating you bad or you're treating her bad, it's gonna go vice versa, and that's gonna affect you most. And so with her, I noticed this was so she's really close with her mom, and she was talking really highly about her mom, but then the second she started talking about her dad, he was evil and all this stuff, and that like kind of leads me into the mesosystem, which is like the interactions between the different parts of a person's microsystem. So like for example, it would be like one of the Boys and Girls Club like instructors having to interact with one of those child's with one of Isabel's like parents, like her mom or her dad, and that can either be positive or negative. So let's say she really gets along with like one of the like instructors there at Boys and Girls Club. She and that person goes and talks to her mom about how she's talking bad about her father and like what's going on there. That could be beneficial to her because now like and two of her people in her microsystem are connecting. The exosystem is the setting that does not involve the person as an active participant but still affects them. So basically they have no participation in the decision making. So whether Isabel's parents got a divorce or whether her father really is treating her poorly or what the situation is, that's kind of like she doesn't have any decision in that. And so like for example, a child can be directly affected by like if a parent like loses their job or something like this, and so this can affect like her learning abilities, or like she had a few like tantrums, and I was wondering if it was like because of what's happening at home, is this now happening at Boys and Girls Club or in school. The macro system is the cultural environment in which the person lives, and all other systems affect them. So like cultural values, political views, economy, stuff like that. So I couldn't really connect it too much to this, but there was another child that he grew up in Guatemala, and then moving here, he had to deal with the customs here in the U.S. versus that country over there, and so that was really different for him. And the ways he would interact, like when they were having dinner or like when we would be dancing, like he would just act differently, and that was because of what he had seen in Guatemala versus here. The chronos system is the dimension of time in a relation to a person's development. So time can be a huge influence, whether it's like an event like a hurricane, like a natural disaster happens, or if a historical event happens, or like let's say a death of a parent. But the biggest one yet that I noticed was technology, and these kids are like so much more advanced than when I was their age, and so that has been super interesting to watch because it really has affected like their learning style. Like almost all of their assessments and everything are online, and that is so different. It was like once in a great while we would get something online. So I've had so many connections to the ecological systems for myself and with these kids, and it just continues to grow. So it's awesome. It's been great, and yeah, that would have to be my personal reflection too. Thanks. Bye bye.